at the rallies of the Progressive Labour Party. He was only able to win one seat, and that is Castries South, which was captured by John Odlum. I think the United Workers' Party went on to win 14 seats, and the St. Lucia Labour Party 2. But many people anticipated that the PLP would have won that general election based on the huge crowds at its various events. I'm saying all this because I've not been able to really gauge the size of the crowd, the turnout, those people who participated in that United Workers' Party march. But you read on social media, people call you, you hear things that it was not that impressive. That's not one of the things, in my estimation, that will determine whether a march is successful or not, or whether people are disgruntled, whether people are concerned about the management of the affairs of the state as far as crime is concerned, as far as the economy and the 2.5%, and victimization and claims that our democracy is under threat. St. Lucians. They normally stay behind closed doors and they murmur, they bicker, they complain quietly. But on general election day, the fact that you cannot determine where somebody votes, that's one privacy that we must cherish. That you go to the polling station, you cast your ballot in favor of this candidate or that candidate, and that is between you and the polling booth. If you want to go out there and say that you voted for Party A or Party B, that's your business. And still, in the event that a politician pays you for your vote, and you say that because this guy from the SLP paid you, you say to them that, yes, I voted for you. No guarantees. No guarantees. And I'm sure that many people have been paid for their votes only to vote for the other side. And the one who paid the money would feel betrayed, and those guys would still say to that particular losing candidate, boy, I don't know how you lost, but I voted for you. You gave me $500. I voted for you. So let us not determine the success or the failure of any political activity in St. Lucia based on crowd turnout. And I know that the political veterans in St. Lucia, both camps, SLP, UWP, will agree. But the hacks, the ordinary hacks, those people, no matter what, they repose their confidence in their party, will tell you, boy, you see the turnout, boy. A carnival band had more people than the march. You hear the kind of things. But anyway, we don't determine the success or failure of those events based on a turnout. Let us hear from the political leader of the United Workers' Party, which organized that march yesterday, Mr. Alan Chasney. And he said a lot of things, including praising those people who participated in that activity yesterday.
Many of the speakers have said the same thing tonight. How proud we are of all of you. Not for United Workers' Party, but I'm proud of you for standing up for the people in St. Lucia that cannot have a voice tonight. The people who know the STEP program is coming in Christmas, and who know that if they came out there today, no STEP for them. For those people who are on a contract with the government and know that this wicked government would take that contract away from them. I don't want anyone in St. Lucia to be embarrassed about being afraid. A big company, Cabot, a big company, Cabot, are scared to invite the former Prime Minister and the Minister of Investment to their opening because the Labour Party put the fear of God in them. That is the country that we are living in today. So all of you who are here today need to give yourselves a round of applause. And the men and women on this stage, we say to you, we stand by your side. We stand in front of you. We stand by your side. We stand behind you. And we are not scared and we will not be intimidated by the Labour Party. And when I speak in the House and I stand up in the House, I don't stand up for me, Alan Shastney. I stand up for the people who cannot speak for themselves. That is who we are talking to. We don't have long tonight, but I want to make it very clear. Tonight is just the beginning. Tonight is to send a message to the Labour Party. When they go home and they're eating their food and drinking their drink over Christmas, and they're with their comrades, we want them to think about the people. We want them to think that the people are not going to take it no more. And that we have a voice and we will say no. And when we say no, we mean no. And if you believe that 2024 is going to be the year of construction, 2024 is going to be the year of opposition, we are going to show the Labour Party an opposition the likes that they have never seen before. The Christmas present that we've given to the Labour Party is to tell them that United Workers' Party, the Flabos of this country, have found our voice and we intend to use it in 2024.
Political leader of the opposition, UWP, which organized the protest march yesterday, putting the government and the SLP on notice. We always knew that would happen because whenever you're entering the third year of a administration's period in government, rest assured that things will be heated up. Because after that, the government of the day would start to invest a lot of money in capital projects. Certainly, their presence will be felt in the media more often than before, and the opposition likewise will follow suit. So one can expect an increase in political activity come 2024, because after that, it's all about the next general election. Your calls right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Your discussions in the chat room, no doubt you will be able to focus and give a post-mortem on your thoughts regarding the outcome of the protest march yesterday. Good afternoon to you, Kimani.
Good afternoon, Tim. In the chat room, someone says, I am neither a supporter of the United Workers' Party nor the PS SLP administration. People do not have alternatives nowadays, and so they would be scared to protest because of the victimizing tendencies of the SLP. People are scared to sacrifice their children's job in the civil service and hotels. Don't blame the people, they don't have a choice. Someone says, all the holes in the roads are preventing Tim to get here on time. It's okay, we understand.
That is not normally, that certainly is not the case. I'm never late. I come to work as early as 10:30 or sometimes just before 11 o'clock. I think it is the fact that we are getting so much love from the advertisers. Okay, we have a lot of advertisements. So my apologies for having started our broadcast late today.
Someone says, if things are so bad as the opposition is saying, not even 1,000 people turned up for the march. Someone says, what, you were busy discouraging calls and declining calls from people who would not march, and now that the turnout was dismal, you say you placed no value on the numbers. The emperor has no clothes, and we can see that. SMH. Another comment in the chat room. Someone says, let's see, what a successful march. And someone says, we have a pattern of mismanagement by both parties. And
somebody says that happy birthday to Sir Michael Shastney, celebrating today. wishing him God's guidance and continuity. Happy birthday to Sir Michael Shaste. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Timothy. It's your friendly neighborhood atheist.
From Canada. How are you, sir?
Yes, my guy. How are you, my guy?
I'm okay, and God bless you.
Well, God bless you too, Tim. God bless you. But anyways, Tim, I want to make a short contribution this morning. First, I'd like to start off by saying hi to Kimani also.
Hi.
And I want to answer a question she asked as pertaining to which one came first, the chicken or the egg.
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to evolutionary biology, the egg came before the chicken because crocodilians and other reptiles lay eggs, and on the evolutionary table, they appear before chickens. And dinosaurs, who are the predecessors of chickens, also laid eggs. So definitely the egg came before the chicken. I think the question should be, which one came first, the chicken egg or the chicken? Then we're in a dilemma. We don't know which one.
We're not in a dilemma. We don't have a dilemma because God is at the center of all those things. Continue.
You're very funny, Timothy.
Well, yeah. You. That's your personal belief, Tim, and I cannot argue against someone's personal belief to the point where
Okay, sir.
We can only compare the evidence for your beliefs and the evidence for mine and meet somewhere along the middle. But Tim, I have a message for the residents of Yefon. I don't care. Come next general elections, no one knows how long they're gonna live, so I have to get my message out there before. Please, I would like to appeal to the young people of Yefon who are gonna be voting for the very first time come the next elections. Please don't make the sad mistake of saying to yourself that, hey, my mother is Flabo, my mother is my father is Flabo, so I vote Flabo. Likewise, my mother is Labour, my father is Labour, we Labour our whole life, so we're going to vote Labour. That is just stupid. That is just stupid. In my household, that's how we were raised. That because our mother is a supporter of the SLP, that we all need to be a supporter of the SLP, or else we'll be betraying our mothers. So a lot of times the people of Yefon North go to the polling stations not knowing the platform on which the rep that they're going to vote for is standing on. The SLP has been in power in Yefon North for 40 years now, Tim.
Yeah, about
from Sicily to Moses Jean-Baptiste. Tim, you tell me of one single development project, that you have ever heard that took place in Yefon North. Yefon North has so many rivers, we don't even have a proper dam. The last time a gentleman called and stated that, hey, how comes we have so many rivers and we don't even have a dam, Tim? Sometimes there's no running water in our pipes. I come from Piero, Yefon. And there's not much there that the government has done for us, Tim. The school we have, our primary school, was built by the hands of my grandmother and her friends. The church that we have, monies were collected from the time I was a little boy to build that church. Outside of the roads that were built by John Compton, Tim, the government really has done nothing for us in Yefon North, Tim. The other day I see Musa, they're paving a road, a little side road. And ironically, that road leads to the house of one of the people who died at the St. Joe's Hospital, That elderly gentleman. That elderly gentleman was the one who started, because he has his business down there, they raise chickens and so on and so forth. And I saw Musa paving that little stretch of road. That little stretch of road not even 300 meters long. And then they're going to come make a big fuss about it. But anyways, I want to let the people of Yefon North know, please, I don't care if you all vote for chicken, an independent candidate, or UWP. Just don't make the similar mistake of putting the SLP in office in Yefon North anymore, because we have had enough. We have had enough of no development. We have had enough of nothing. We have had enough, Tim. Thank you, Tim. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. So more of your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. I do not believe that we should be having any safe seats in St. Lucia, because safe seats result in the incumbents taking you, the constituents, for granted, because they know you will always vote for them. And so the meager resources that they have at their disposal, they have a tendency to invest those resources in constituencies that they consider to be more challenging or more challengeful. So they denied you proper roads, they deny you proper human resource centers and other things that you need desperately for your constituency. And what they would do is to use the resources and build other amenities, other footpaths, roads, etc. in other areas so that they could win the support of those people. So they could take you, the so-called constituents of the safe seats, for granted. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon to you, Tim.
Hi. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon to Kimani.
Hi, good afternoon.
What's in your mind, sir? Hello. Are you still there?
Good afternoon to Kimani.
Yes, caller. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Kimani. The caller who called earlier on from Beaufort North, he hit the nail on the head. There is absolutely no development in Beaufort North. None at all. And I've been clamoring about this for the past years. I need Musa to answer questions about the playing field in Bellevue, the one in Pierre, the one in VG, the one in Opicon. There is no development going on in Beaufort North under the Labour Party administration. Anything that happens in Beaufort is from UWP, and the people will go back and forth for Labour. We created history from the time we were running elections. We voted for SNP, and we have never changed it. And they realize that we are so dumb and stupid, they don't need to campaign, they don't need to do nothing, because the people will always and continually vote for them. It doesn't make no sense. We have no economical activity. They're talking about, you can just take a drive for yourself and come see the playing field in Bellevue and tell me if anybody would do football on that. Very much.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution. What's happening in the chat room, Kimani? Too early to report again?
No, we have some comments in the chat room. Someone says, Tim, the chicken comes first, straight from the creation week. God gave the chicken, which then gave us the egg. Someone says, we've been duped by two political parties. Another comment, no progress with Labour in Beaufort for so many years. And someone says, caller, Compton was the only one who wanted to build a dam down in Gracelands, if I have it right, down Beaufort before he won the elections and died. Another comment, I hope Shasney remembers how the SLP is getting on now, so when he gets his chance again, he doesn't act like them. There should never be revenge or getting back at them. Just be better, do better, and let the people see the changes you have made and what you have learned from you being in opposition. Let the people judge your change. I'd
like to endorse this because no sooner after the last general election, particularly during sittings of the House of Assembly, and the evidence is there. That is beyond dispute, that the government side invested just too much time focusing on Mr. Alan Shasney. And that is because, in my estimation, they were seeking revenge. That distracted the St. Lucia Labour Party administration. And then now, what certainly was inevitable is that there would be challenges. You have the high cost of living, you have crime, and people are complaining. People are saying that we do have there are those important issues that are of concern to us that are directly impacting us. And instead of tackling those issues, you're focusing on one man. So I think that is great advice coming from that individual. In the event that the United Workers' Party were to win the next general election, try to hit the ground running and try to focus on those issues that are impacting the people from day one. One thing that politicians are not mindful of, Kimani, is that the time flies quickly. You get into office, you're sworn into office, and then all of a sudden, 3 years have elapsed. And then you have the challenge of dealing with so many issues now that that seem now to be insurmountable. Crime, you can't tackle it. Then you have the high cost of living, you have inflation, you have unemployment, you have all those things to factor in by year 4. And you're talking about year 4, then you're on the heels of another general election.
So I think what you're saying that they should tackle it right away, but maybe they can't. I guess they have to deal with what the previous administration left behind, and then that takes some time.
No, but you are in St. Lucia. You are aware, you're monitoring, you are the opposition, you have a lot of time on your hands, you take note. Those are the issues. We know the level of borrowing, we know the challenges, we know the crime, we know the economy, we understand this and that. We attend all the sittings of the House of Assembly, we're privy to so many things. So we know general elections are around the corner. Get into office, you just start to work. That's what you do.
I think I just agree with the comment where this individual says that we've been duped by both parties.
In various degrees. Various degrees, because we are discussing the same issues today that were very much dominant and part of the discourse a decade ago.
Right.
You're still talking about an education system that is archaic. We talk about crime. We talk about unemployment. We talk about roads. Those things have been with us for much too long.
Very much so. Someone says in the chat room, no one was paid to be there, so it's okay if only 10 people showed up. It would have still been a success. Another comment, if so, Tim, Labrie should be a haven, as they keep saying it's a safe and Labour seat. It's not seen any change to talk about wholesome. This I saw Labrie Market is a case in point. Someone says the right hand knows exactly what the left hand is doing, but yet still they do nothing about it. We are finished in St. Lucia. That's it, Tim.
All right, let me see if I have any of your messages to go through. Okay, somebody says it's time that St. Lucians wake up and stand up to politicians. When politicians provide proper health care, education, housing, roads, they are not granting anyone a favor, but fulfilling their responsibilities. Present administration needs to stop taking Lucians for fools. I mean, because you are in office, and up to now you're saying that cabinet will be meeting. You're looking at cabinet coming up with prescriptions, with various ideas on how to control the prices with regard to food items at our supermarket. This has been plaguing us for over a year now, close to 2 years now. You've been in power for 2 years and 5 months, and you're behaving as if you are in the opposition. You don't have an idea. The Prime Minister, and we'll hear from him in just a moment, what he is doing now is calling on people who have various ideas to tackle the food prices, to come forward with recommendations. But you are the leader. Source the information. Come up with the solution to that particular problem. Because if you were in opposition, what do you think the rhetoric would be? What are the words that you would be uttering as far as the response to our problems in this country, particularly inflation, the high cost of living, which is a big headache? I think on every occasion, every opportunity, every government minister gets, they should be addressing that particular issue, because those are the realities that people cannot avoid. There's some things in life that you just cannot avoid. One of them right now in St. Lucia is the high cost of living. So we'll be hearing from the Prime Minister in just a moment. And also, a resident of Babonneau says Wasco is suffering from bad project management and poor leadership. You are watching NewsSpin on our NewsSpin Facebook page. We are also on YouTube, and you're listening to the broadcast on Power 97.9 FM.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
It's my life and I want more. More time, more power. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card. Pay direct to Lucy like my account. I have the power, yeah. Pay online to Lucy like my account. Anywhere, any day, any hour. Lights are on at home. No more standing in line. No more worrying about my bill. Now I'm all paid up. Got more time to chill, yeah, yeah. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card.
Register today to set up Lucelect My Account by going to www.myaccount.lucelect.com on any device. Follow the steps to register and pay your electricity bills directly to Lucelect online and get back to your life. For now, this service is available to customers with domestic accounts only.
Celebrate the season with KFC's Christmas Festive Feast. Feast on our festive bucket. 6 pieces of chicken, 2 small mashed potatoes, 2 corns, 2 sodas, all for just $45. Or grab the festive box. 5 dipping wings, a sandwich, fries, a biscuit, and a soda, only $28. Make your holidays special with KFC's Festive Feast. Available at all KFC locations and for delivery. WhatsApp us at 484-0400 or visit our website, kfcslu.com, for more information. This is a limited time offer. Happy holidays from the management and staff of KFC.
You asked for it, and it's back. The National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited announces the return of its Merry Till February Christmas loan promotion. Get up to $30,000 with absolutely no deposit and up to 5 years to repay. It's Merry Till February with the Farmers Credit Union. Call 454-6710 in VA4 or 452-7277 in Castries to book an appointment with one of our loans officers today. Terms and conditions apply.
If you suffer with pain from fibromyalgia, lupus, sickle cell anemia, sciatica, or arthritis, Lockley DeCoste doctor specialists from overseas in St. Lucia will diagnose and treat patients who have been suffering long. Lockley DeCoste specialists will treat the symptoms of stroke, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries with shoulders, elbows, knees, back, and neck pain, even plantar fasciitis being a pain of the past. Lockley DeCoste specialists in St. Lucia EMG tests will measure the damage in neuromuscular disorders and diabetic neuropathy because Lockley DeCoste doctor specialist provides proper diagnosis using the most effective treatment for you to live free of pain.
La Clinique Duco. Call 451-6559 or 721-9950. La Clinique Duco, located at number 17 High Street, Castries.
Tis the season for new internet, a laptop, and some extra cash. This Christmas is on us. Sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply. Valid while stocks last.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Salu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Automotive art is a place to start.
Look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start hair tools, batteries, oil, and car care.
Find me where they find nice, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Hey. Your one-stop shop, lottery, VLTs, and bingo. Come for the games, stay for the food, drinks, and more. Celebrate with me, we feeling lucky. Blast with victory. Find me where they find nice, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Yeah, we playing blast.
Must be 18 or over to play. Only from the St. Lucia National Lottery. Changing lives.
Continue with your calls. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Thanks for calling the broadcast. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir. How about you?
Not bad at all. I'm doing great.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I just want to make a very short contribution to your program this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're a very political and tribal nation, to be quite honest. I mean, we have our tribe and we hold fast to that. But I think what we need to do, I think, in the future, that we need to get to the point where we have a national consensus, where we bring, hopefully, the opposition and the ruling party, whichever party is in opposition and whichever party is in government, together. And we need to set some sort of not only a goal for the country, but to decide, for example, for the next 50 years, what do we want in St. Lucia? Because this thing of breaking down everything after every 5 years is something by now, after 40-something years, that we should have gotten very tired of. And we keep on repeating that same mistake every 5 years, where we start something and we break it down because of political ideology and political convenience. We need to get to the point where we decide as a people that we want to have a better future, irrespective of which political party that you subscribe to, irrespective of which political party that you support. We need to come together as a people and have a national consensus and decide at the end of the day, this is where we want St. Lucia in the next 50 years, the next 100 years, and both parties pledge that we are going to support that. So when we change for whatever, I mean, we all have our own political leaning, but what we need to understand is that we cannot keep on repeating the same mistakes over and over again. That's the first point. The second point is that we need to get to the point where, at the end of the election cycle, we have an election every 5 years. At the end of the election cycle, give a month or a few weeks for whichever party that has to celebrate, let them celebrate. Whichever party that has to lick the wounds, let them lick the wounds. And we all need to come together as St. Lucians. Because at the end of the day, this tribal fight that we have, where we spend 5 years fighting each other as opposed to building a better St. Lucia, we all have to get together and decide that we want to build a better St. Lucia. We cannot continue to divide our people that way, where because you're in that tribe, we spend 5 years destroying whatever was built, or because you're in that tribe, nothing that's been done presently is of value. We need to begin to come together as a people. Election comes, I have no problem with who you support. Support whomever you want to support. Let's decide on that. But at the end of that cycle, election is done, we have a transparent system, a winner is selected. We need to come together as a people and support this country. We cannot continue breaking down and destroying in our move forward. It is destroying us, you understand? We have, every 5 years we come back. Every 5 years we go back in the dirt. You understand? And that is not sustainable. We have no gold, we have no oil. We are the people. We are the ones who can move this country forward, and we cannot continue doing that, Timothy. And I appreciate programs like yours. I'll be honest with you. Because yes, we are bringing information to the people. But I think we need to slightly tweak our messaging to say to St. Lucians, after elections, let's push a nationalistic agenda that do your part. Because, for example, when you look at things like crime, I mean, the idea that we think that crime is going to be solved by a political party, or crime will be solved by 17 individuals, or that crime is a problem that will only be addressed by the ruling party, is nonsensical. We have to understand that every single St. Lucian has a part to play in solving the crime situation. Because, for example, I normally call people out. For example, we go through the day, and we see St. Lucians, Flambeau labor, walking through town. There's a bin 2 feet from them, you understand? And they will literally throw something. And they'll throw it in front of the bin, as opposed to put it in the bin. So we need to begin to address these things and have a zero tolerance for crime and begin to have a nationalistic approach to all these issues. I don't care what party you support. Honestly, I don't care. We all have our preferences. We all have our positions, but we need to get to the point, Timothy. It hurts my heart to see that we as St. Lucians, that we are fighting each other just based on political ideology. We are willing to burn down St. Lucia based on political ideology. There was a point where in St. Lucia, religion was number one. At this point in our development, politics is number one. We've placed politics on the pedestal. Politics is on the altar. You understand? And we need to change that because it doesn't bode well for us as a nation. It doesn't bode well for us as a people, for our future development. We need to change that, Timothy. And I'm pleading to those persons who might be hearing my voice to say to them, listen, you support whomever you want to support. At the end of this election cycle, please find a place in your heart to recognize that if your party wins next election, if your party lost and they win the next election, they will have to continue the building. They will have to continue fighting the fight. So when we destroy everything, every time your party wins, it places them in a disadvantageous situation because it means that they have to rebuild and they have to start from scratch. And 5 years, like you said a while ago, 5 years is not a lot of time. We need to stop that madness. It's a madness. We need to stop it. We need to get to the point where we understand we are one people under one destiny. And we cannot continue to break down each other. I mean, I have no problem with the match. For example, that match yesterday, I have no problem with it. If we have issues, you understand, we need to find more productive ways of joining the battle and say, listen, I don't agree with your policies, but at the end of the day, this is what I propose. You understand? And show people that you're not against, but you have a better policy. Because if you show people that you have a better policy, then people will be more willing to gravitate to your way of thinking. We need to do better. It breaks my heart. I'm being honest with you. It breaks my heart that after 2.5 years that we're still fighting for political points as opposed to building this better St. Lucia, Timothy. We need to do better, my brother. We need to do better. And I'm hoping that I could encourage you to drive or to direct the conversation in that direction. You understand? To the point where we tell each other, irrespective of your political leaning, right now, let's try to build better. Let's go into volunteering. Let's go into looking into your community, see which children are disadvantaged. Let's go into breaking down the blocks. Let's go into putting systems in place that we could deal with the criminality in the communities rather. You understand? We can do so much more as opposed to complaining year after year after year after year. We are not building anything better for our people, for our children. We are failing them. We are failing them. Let us get together, man. Let us get together and do something better than what we're doing presently, because we are not progressing this country. This country is not progressing with the current culture. You understand? And for us to continue doing that same thing over and over and over and over again is indeed a form of madness.
Okay, caller. All right.
I thank you for a platform. And I wish you the best, my brother. But I'm pleading to you. Let's try something different.
Okay, caller. All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
So the caller spoke about a vision, a long-term vision that both parties can agree to, irrespective of whether they are in office or not. We can aspire to implement that vision, whether it's a vision on how we respond to challenges relating to the economy, addressing issues relating to healthcare, unemployment, the youth, etc. It'll be difficult to get both sides to come up with that particular vision, caller, that you are making reference to and you want us to aspire to. But the fact remains that this is a competitive game that both sides are playing, the United Workers' Party and likewise the Senusha Labour Party. There are so many various initiatives that would be spearheaded by one party or the other, and when the other one comes into office, irrespective of the implications, irrespective of the financial cost, they will boldly abandon that, because what they're trying to do is to impress their base, impress their voters, to say that yes, the United Workers' Party came up with this particular initiative, we are not for it, we will abandon it, we'll put it on hold, irrespective of the fact that there are implications. We have this Rodney Bay project that is underway. We come in, we will abandon it, because if we continue it, if we conclude it, then, who gets the credit? Not the SLP. It is the UWP that will get the credit. And also, in the case of you saying that there's need for unity and in terms of addressing the various issues, and after general election, let's not be too political, let's not be too divisive. Call it that is wishful thinking, because the Senusha Labour Party that's in office right now is behaving as if it is in opposition. You had the Senusha Labour Party constantly talking about the development of the country going forward or addressing issues that are impacting the people? Or do you hear the Senusha Labour Party continuously saying that it's all about protecting the victory? And more than that, in an environment where civil society is non-existent, civil society is dormant, who will you think will ensure that the government accounts to the people? Civil society? Or do you think it will be the opposition? In this case, caller, it has to be the opposition. And you cannot allow any government, whether it's government of the UWP or the SLP, to destroy a country to the extent that the damage would be irreparable. So, irrespective of that party coming into office only 2.5 years, you must keep that party in check. And unfortunately, what is happening in our country right now, in terms of the rhetoric, in terms of the behavior of politicians, whether it's on the government side or the opposition, do you think we should remain quiet, all in the name of being nationalistic and maintaining peace and order in our country? Because according to you, what is happening right now is unsustainable. Look at the behavior of the government. You get the impression that the government, in particular, certain government ministers, they find themselves in a desperate situation because they're fearful that the SLP will lose the next general election. And so, they invest a lot of their energy and resources on beating up on the opposition or opposition voices in our country. And if you, for a moment there, can you just imagine the Senusha Labour Party administration investing all that time and the resources towards addressing the needs of the people of the country, Do you know that would redound to their benefit at the polls? When a prime minister says, when you see supporters, urges supporters of his party to basically taunt and heckle opposing supporters by saying, we beat you. Shouldn't the prime minister consider it as his party has won the election, set the example, and move on? Instead of saying to the supporters, when you see the flambeaus, tell them, we beat you. It's not being divisive. Just a little over a year after you have won with such an overwhelming mandate. So, caller, the politicians will not do it. It will take civil society. It will take people who are intelligent, people who are very much concerned about the development of the country, as opposed to one side wanting to remain in power forever, and another side that's on the sidelines wanting to get into office. It will take people who want to make that sacrifice, who care about the country more than power, to do exactly what you are saying there. The politicians definitely will not do it. It is not in their interest. I mean, when you listen to government ministers and the prime minister speak about, we must never, ever allow the United Workers' Party to return to power. Read into that. What he is saying, in effect, is, don't leave me out of a job. I love being Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Whatever you do, continue to vote for the St. Lucia Labour Party, irrespective of me being without answers to a number of the problems affecting the country or not. Because I want to remain in power, and I want my ministers to remain in office, and I want to be in a position to provide jobs to my friends, my relatives, people who are connected to the party, to reward them. That is a business. Politics, yes sir, is a business. And the SLP will do whatever it can to remain in office, and the UWP will do whatever that's possible to return to office. If only our politicians had good intentions. It is all about themselves. It is all about their ego. It is all about a contest. It's a competition. It is a fight over fair Helen. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. What's in the chat room? Kimani.
Tim, given that speech, I recommend you for press secretary to the Prime Minister.
No, we already have, what's her name?
Melissa Paul.
Yeah. And talking about the press secretary to the Prime Minister, she's my good friend. She's also my neighbor. But we're not, I mean, it's, 2 months now? We're not hearing anything from you. You know, what's your role as press secretary to the Prime Minister, to speak on behalf of the Prime Minister, to take questions from reporters and journalists, and also to ensure that you are fair in terms of cajoling and begging your ministers to appear on the talk shows in St. Lucia, all the talk shows, including the most monitored one in the world? Because I could imagine the folks at the Prime Minister's office right now as we speak, I think I have about $5 in my pocket. And I'll bet that they are there monitoring the program right now as we speak. So there's more that the press secretary should be doing in terms of serving as a conduit between the government, the press, and the people of this country.
Someone says, Tim, use your charm to bring her on the show. And since you said she was your good friend, I think you should bring her on the show, Tim.
But it's not working.
Have you tried hard enough?
But I will ask. I've not asked her, but I will ask. But the press secretary before that, Mondi Lewis, also failed me. Did not provide me with one government minister, either on NewsSpin or Newsmaker Live. I think she did call the broadcast about twice Yeah, twice, to engage me and so on, and I appreciate that. So let's see what will happen with this current press secretary to the Prime Minister. I suspect very close to the next general election, when they are in panic mode, they will make themselves available.
In the chat room, someone says, in an effort to protect the victory, the government ministers are displaying bad behavior. Another comment, no matter what color is in office, it's the same circus and rigmarole all over again. When their term is up, they collect their pensions and we will work till we die, never seeing the fruits of our labor, and no matter how little it is. Another comment, caller, all of that is politics, because when one is in power, they tend to take advantage of the other side. Like Pierre said to his people, go in their faces and say you lose. So when will that change? Another comment, I understand what the caller is saying, but truth be told, democracy in any country is open competition for many issues. Another comment, both parties need to stop this nonsense. Priority is the St. Lucian people. If the project will benefit the people of St. Lucia, just complete the project. It doesn't matter who started it.
I mean, and again on that Rodney Bay Road project, the infrastructure minister did promise to review the project and return to the people or the press, I think, over a 6-month period. And up to now, we have not heard anything from the infrastructure minister. We're not heard anything from the government on that particular project. Now, millions have been spent. The government, as I understand, owes the contractor millions, and the project is just there in abeyance.
Languishing.
Just there.
Another comment in the chat room, someone says, I don't know why people have a problem with the march yesterday. UWP is in opposition. They're doing what they're supposed to be done. Caller, how can your idea ever go through when the ruling party can't be held accountable? Only the UWP put through in a law that there is no time limit of accountability. Caller, for that to happen, the mindset of the people needs to change. Someone says, caller, the voters need to hold the politicians accountable. Look how long Dr. Anthony has been in Vieux-Fort and the state of Vieux-Fort. The people do not want or deserve better. Until Lucians understand the difference between working party and non-working party, things will never change. Politicians are building their wealth on the backs of the ignorant. They marched for Bacchanal and Roro, not for their rights. Most of them have no clue what their rights are or what they've really marching for. It was sad to see the truth hidden in plain sight. Someone claims that only one party can curb crime. Someone says, makes sense, caller, but the leaders need to take the lead and forge that unity. Let's see. Someone says, okay, caller, how do I contribute to solving the current crime situation?
Still to come on the broadcast, we'll be hearing from some of the protesters who participated in yesterday's march. And, of course, some more of your calls. And somebody from Babano says, Wasco is suffering from bad project management and poor leadership. You are watching NewsSpin on YouTube and also on our NewsSpin Facebook page and listening on Power 97.9 FM.
Find me where they fight nights, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Hey. Your one-stop shop, lottery, VLTs and bingo. Come for the games, stay for the food, drinks and more. Celebrate with me, we feeling lucky. Blast with victory. Find me where they fight nights, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Yeah, we playing blast.
Must be 18 or over to play. Only from the St. Lucia National Lottery. Changing lives.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Vieux-Fort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Introducing the new LuSelect Virtual Service Desk, where one click is your access to every service. From My Account to streetlight reports, requests for payment arrangements to settle arrears, change of name and address. Easy online forms give you access from anywhere and at any time. Every service you need at your fingertips. Go to our website, luselect.com, and click on the Virtual Service Desk widget. Luselect's Virtual Service Desk. Every solution at your fingertips.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Sign up for a large postpaid plan and get 2 Samsung Galaxy A4s for just $199, plus 2 entries into the Everyday Grand Giveaway. This Christmas is on us. Sign up in store or online today at discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply.
You asked for it, and it's back. The National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited announces the return of its Merry Till February Christmas loan promotion. Get up to $30,000 with absolutely no deposit and up to 5 years to repay. It's Merry Till February with the Farmers Credit Union. Call 454-6710 in V4 or 452-7277 in Castries to book an appointment with one of our loans officers today. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us at the KFC Recruitment Pop-Up. KFC is searching for enthusiastic team members, supervisors, restaurant managers, delivery drivers, cyclists, and riders. Friday, December 1st at Constitution Park, Castries, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join the KFC team and receive exceptional training and amazing benefits. Take this opportunity to shape your future with KFC. See you at the Pop-Up.
If you suffer with pain from fibromyalgia, lupus, sickle cell anemia, sciatica, or arthritis, likely because doctor specialists from overseas in St. Lucia will diagnose and treat patients who have been suffering long. Likely because specialists will treat the symptoms of stroke, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries with shoulders, elbows, knees, back, and neck pain, even plantar fasciitis being a pain of the past. Likely because specialists in St. Lucia EMG tests will measure the damage in neuromuscular disorders and diabetic neuropathy, because likely because doctor specialists provides proper diagnosis using the most effective treatment for you to live free of pain.
La Clinique Ducor. Call 451-6559 or 721-9950. La Clinique Ducor, located at number 17 High Street, Castries.
Automotive art is a place to start. Automotive art is a place to start.
Yeah, look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start hair tools, batteries, oil, and car care.
Automotive art is a place to start.
When the Prime Minister can say he went into court to make sure that justice was done, what are you saying? What was he saying to us? When a minister can go on his TV show and say he getting files from the police and nothing is done about it. We have no justice in this country.
When you tell me 1 grain of banana for $1, what does that take you? You raise the price of bread. I remember when the opposition was in power, they said that they don't eat roads. The bus drivers were campaigning, they were protesting, and now the road conditions are worse.
All right, some of the protesters who participated in the march yesterday. Somebody says via WhatsApp, good afternoon, NewsSpin. Today is World AIDS Day. Not even a message was advertised. Gone are the days when World Bank was giving money for HIV. No money, no more care. Well, you're wrong on one front. The Ministry of Health did issue a statement. We'll be playing that statement later in the broadcast to coincide with the observance of World AIDS Day, which is today. In the meantime, let's hear from Rick Wayne. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You on the air? Hello.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, good afternoon, Rick.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How about you, sir?
Pretty depressed about my country. But anyway. Are you familiar with the statement by Abraham Lincoln? He wasn't the president yet. I think he was nominated as a senator when he made that speech. A house divided against itself cannot stand. You know that, right?
Yes, I know.
That's it. I say that because of an earlier caller who said to you that we had to come together right after elections. Party can celebrate for 2 weeks, and then we come together. And you didn't say anything like that, you know. Do you have any views on that at all?
That certainly would be hypocritical if we were to adopt that particular posture. That is also impossible. What we have to strive to do as a people is to, as much as possible, try to be realistic and try to, no matter which party that is in office, ensure that party is accountable to the people. And if we can do that, there's any need for us to talk about unity and all that. To talk about constant unity after the election, it should just be hypocritical about everything, because governments will make mistakes and governments will do as they please if they are left unchecked.
Tim, when was the last time you heard a serious discussion going on involving people that we have generally have respect for their minds, their erudition, and so on? When was the last time you had such a discussion, a public discussion?
It has been
When was the last time you heard of one?
It has been a very long time, Rick. I think it's primarily those people have become very selfish. It's all about themselves. It's all about focusing on paying their bills, their mortgage, and so on.
When was the last time you heard a speech in the House that even came close to the subject we're talking about right now? Even close.
Maybe the last time would have been maybe during the 97-2001 period.
Well, let me help you out. It was delivered by George Odlum. It was his very last budget address before he was fired. And the heart of his message was that no matter how, none of the problems, none of the more important problems of the country will be near solvable unless both parties, and by both parties I took him to mean unless all St. Lucians came together on things that mattered to them as a people. George Odlum said that, and a lot of more stuff relating to this. And when I heard this guy talking to you this morning, I really felt very, very sad. Martin Luther King preached about unity. Malcolm X, I go to exact opposite, right?
Yeah.
Preached about unity of black people. Garvey talked about the unity of black people. Mandela talked about unity of black people. Lumumba did. Even when Mandela came over here, he talked about the islands uniting people of one mind together. Yeah. We are today more polarized than we have ever been. And now it has gone into a matter of race. Every time, and we ignore that, but race, I was today is a lousy day for me, really, really, really. Today, it was my misfortune to come across a quote. They say a little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
I think a little knowledge is a very depressing thing. Can be a very, very depressing thing, Tim. Can be a very, very. I came across a statement by Winston Churchill, a kind of, well, a hero of mine, because I grew up in colonial times, and Churchill, with his flaws, I still admire Churchill for his delivery, his speeches, his wit, his wisdom. And I'm going to paraphrase it for you. In fact, I just found it. Listen to this. I do not agree that a dog in a manger has the final right to the manger, even though it has lain there for a very long time. I do not admit, for instance, that a great wrong was done to the Red Indians of America or the black people of Australia. I do not admit that a wrong has been done to these people by the fact that a stronger race, higher grade race, a more worldly wide race has come in and taken their place. Now that is racism beyond.
Yeah.
Now you would think we would learn our own lessons from that and stay as far away from racism as we can, rather than going looking for it wherever we can possibly find something even close to it. We have also determined for ourselves that if a white guy or a white-looking guy does something, it automatically is because he's a white guy and he thinks he's superior and everything else. Of course, the thinking person will also ask himself, as a black man, as me, for example, me, the last thing I think of when some white guy carries on like a jackass is that he's a jackass, you know, Tim. It never occurs to me because in his mind he thinks I'm a superior being, he's a superior being, because I know that will be his downfall in no time at all.
Yeah.
Because I'm soon going to straighten his ass out that he's not a superior being to Rick Wayne. So I am very, very careful in just using those phrases. I prefer to think people are stupid, people are uninformed, people are arrogant, people have notions of themselves undeserving. But those things I just spoke about there are to be found in every race, Tim.
You're
it's
correct.
found in all human beings.
You're correct.
It all depends on your education, you know, etc. Arrogance is not a white or black or Chinese thing. Arrogance is arrogance. Stupidity is a consequence of lack of education, whether it is a white man, a green man, or a blue man. But what we have succeeded in doing here, and even George Odlum contributed to it, and I may, at some time, I don't know, somebody can find something I said, although I doubt it very much because I've always had strong views on that. I've always felt, in fact, most of my life, Tim, whatever I have achieved, put it another way, whatever I have achieved in this world was not achieved from being in St. Lucia. And I want to take on anybody who wants to take me on because I will say Rick Wayne was born, in fact, Rick Wayne is not even Rick Wayne. Larry Carrasco was born in St. Lucia. He's a St. Lucian. But Rick Wayne is not a product of St. Lucia. And that does not demean St. Lucia. It means whatever my achievements were, whatever I became, the changing of my name, whatever opportunities came to me, I was able to take advantage of them in a place of opportunity. You get me?
I get your point. So you say, in other words, your life, your thinking would have been totally different were you still Larry Carrasco in Labrie.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And if you check out, those who are better educated didn't get that way in St. Lucia. I mean, you want to talk Derek Walker, the product of St. Lucia? Dream on. When Arthur Lewis was asked, how come we don't know who you are? How come you're only coming here now? Why did you live? And he said, I had a family to feed. Arthur Lewis did not become Arthur Lewis in St. Lucia. He was born here. And if it was so easy, just by being born in St. Lucia, you're Derek Walker or Arthur Lewis or whatever them, do you see anybody even on the horizon? We have poets in this country Ask anybody to quote them. Ask most St. Lucians to recite a Derek Walcott poem. I've heard people reciting, for example, only last Saturday, I was at a function where Derek's poem, Love After Love, was read. And I sat there, and what I thought about was the number of people who have misunderstood that or mangled it or don't even know anything about it. Our young people in schools are not given any reason to admire anybody in our country, Tim. Our young people in schools, those people who are the leaders of tomorrow, who are going to draw out on the whatever formula you call it, youth,
the youth economy, youth economy,
the youth economy, and those people have to have faith in St. Lucia. They have to have faith and look at this man made it in St. Lucia, and he did. I can as well. What the average young person is confronted with is this: almost everybody St. Lucian they can think of who achieved a remarkable level of success had to get the hell out of Dodge. Is that a truth or not?
It's a truth. It's true.
It's a sad truth, but it is. And at the root of all of that are those animals called politicians. And I talk from all sides and not from now or yesterday. Because the more I do a track back, the politicians are responsible for every wrong, everything in this country, because they have controlled the minds of St. Lucians going back God knows when. Going back to George Charles, Parti Salas, Parti Laboué, Parti Salas, Parti Jean Business, and all this kind of crap. We were independent. We had gained our independence when we had not. We were cut off. Britain was fed up feeding us. Britain is, and when they talk about Britain, why they get rid of us from the Privy Council? That was true. But it applies to everything else. Other countries are fed up with feeding us. We are beggars. Now we are begging the Saudis. You want to talk about racism
but
so
more than that, Rick, I mean, talking about those countries are fed up with us. The European Union.
What's that?
Talking about those countries are fed up with us in terms of always having to take care of us in one way or the other through grants, through loans at concessionary terms or rates, etc. I'm sure that the taxpayer in the European Union, taxpayer in Canada is saying, why are we continuing to invest in those countries? Are they showing that at some point in time they will be able to fend for themselves after so many years of being beneficiaries of handouts?
Tim, the world is fed up with taking care of loser countries. In England, you have problems with the immigrants and the attitude to immigrants. And they call it racism, they call it all kinds of names. The bottom line is the English are fed up with taking in people who change their culture, who cause a lot of problems. The England I know, I grew up in, is not the England today, no, Tim.
Yeah.
The problems they have of course, you always have your little racism. England is the birthplace of racism, colonialism. But I'm talking about the impact of people coming in, and I understand the position of the Englishman. They're not welcome, America is the same thing, by and large. All the talk about bring me your poor and your ever, that's all talk, Tim. Countries are expected to live within their means. The richest people in our country are the politicians, who happen to be the very people we all call crooks, who happen to be the same people who call one another crooks in the House of Parliament. But the best of people in the country who live in the highest in the country just also happen to be politicians, and they hook in the lawyers to support them. It's very, very difficult to get any lawyer to support you in this country, Tim, because they're committed to one party or another.
Mm-hmm.
I am so flaming well depressed. And the other thing, allegations thrown at people left, right, and center. Why are these guys talking about they have files and they have this and that, and we never see those files? We never hear anybody going to the police. We never hear any serious cry for investigation. Why has the impacts report not given, not been investigated. The fact that certain matters could not be brought before a court. In any case, impacts is about the worst con that has ever perpetrated on us. And Kenny one day will have to answer for that. And he can't write any book without explaining impacts and everything, but a lot of questions to answer. But within the flawed impacts are a lot of very, very serious allegations that a serious country would demand investigations of. But the very people who would bring about an investigation may very well be the people fingered in the report. Messing with a serious investigation of impacts, the impact report, we'll have to go back how impacts came about in the first place. Or it would have to involve the ORC, the Operation Restore Confidence. Is there a story behind that we don't know? And shouldn't we know? Can we make any progress in terms? I mean, look at this thing with the special prosecutor. As much as I want to see the special prosecutor come up and have a serious court case and to get something off the ground, as much as I want to see that, Tim, I am bothered by that a group of guys can go on platforms and promise to bring particular people before a particular appointment, especially for their purposes. How can that special prosecutor be comfortable in his job when he knows damn well what he is doing there is a political activity? I mean, the best intentions in the world, the best minds in the world cannot escape the fact that just like Bloom Cooper and just like Impact, those things are politically motivated, Tim.
Yeah.
They're motivated, and all of us sitting there like monkeys looking at each other. Well, you're ugly, and you're ugly, and that one is a crook, and we all beggars. While those guys have the 5 loaves and living high up the hog, the whole house, and not only for the last 10 years, it's been that way for a long time, only worse than ever. But the victims, the Labour Party supporters and the UWP supporters, they are the constant, unchanging victims. And they are part and parcel in bringing this beautiful country of ours down into the cesspit by saying nothing, by covering up because they're so involved, by gaining. I mean, you look at the Ministry of Tourism and everything to do with tourism, and there are a lot of questions to be asked. There are a lot of questions that Alan Chastney has to answer. There are a lot of questions that are to be answered right now. There are a lot of questions Stephenson King in particular needs to answer, because Stephenson King was the one who inherited from John Compton, and that's where the real trouble began.
We will continue on Monday. Okay, Rick? Right. All right, thank you so much. We just have 4 minutes left on the broadcast. I know Rick can continue that contribution until midnight tonight. As I told you earlier on, a Babonneau resident says Wasco is suffering from bad project management and poor leadership. And that individual sent me a WhatsApp message and some accompanying evidence, photographs. So allow me to read. The person writes, "It's unbelievable that Wasco could leave half a yard of ready mix in the center of a steep hill like this overnight without any safety signage, after the hill has already been butchered by Wasco. Babonneau residents have had to endure the atrocities to our roads for an entire year. I must say, Wasco is suffering more from bad project management and poor leadership than its lack of financial resources." Here's hoping Wasco will take note and Wasco will deal with that problem. Finally, what's happening in the chat room, Kimani? Before we hear from one Dr. Gail Kajada, and we also have our NewsSpin news of the day. By the way, the question of the day: what should the SLP government make of the November 30th UWP march? What should the SLP government make of the November 30th UWP march? The chat room, Kimani.
Someone says, we need to listen to Skerrit. He said between the islands, we need to be able to get food imported to each other. Rick, it's true, and they're listening and watching. I heard the other certain foreign senators arguing about so much money they give to the Dominican Republic. It's billions. St. Lucia better get up, start growing short crops, get our agriculture sector up and running, tourism, our athletes up and going. Stop depending on USA, England, and Canada and friends. Another comment, both political parties have been accused of pushing their hands in the cookie jar. But wait and listen, is when the cookie jar will be empty, we will hear. Tim, if at first you don't succeed, try again, referring to getting Melissa Paul on the program. Someone says, St. Lucians don't vote people, they vote color. That's the problem with St. Lucia. Someone says, no government can stop crime. We can minimize crime by not giving the criminals the opportunity to get away with the crimes they commit. The way we can take away the opportunity of going unpunished is by each and every one of us taking up the responsibility of reporting what we see and hear to the relevant authorities to ensure that the culprit gets the deserving punishment. And please don't tell me that when you talk to the police, they will go and tell them what you said. Nonsense. This is not true. Majority of the police officers are honest people and they work in the interest of the citizenry. So trust them and do your part. Someone says the two political parties are causing confusion among we St. Lucians and they're benefiting by selling lands, taking loans, and what we get is just confusion among ourselves. If St. Lucians are so outraged by the 2.5% and the rising cost of living, why is it that Chastity and the UWP can't even get 1,000 people to march against the cost of living? The reality is that most St. Lucians understand and support the government's initiatives. Tim, I must say that this comment is from your friend over in Martinique.
That's Shazi. That's okay. That's Shazi. Thanks for revealing his identity.
But Shazi. One final comment that I found hilarious.
The guy is now working in Martinique. He's working at whatever consulate in Martinique. Claim he's representing St. Lucia. Is earning his euro. You know, he just got paid because today's the 1st of December. He got paid for last month. People have not gotten paid in St. Lucia, and they're still subjected to the 2.5%. So he can say whatever he wants on his perch over in Fort-de-France.
Someone says, Tim, I have a request. Bring Kimani on Newsmaker Live to read our comments, please, and thank you.
Okay, I'll do that. The new year, God spare.
Someone says, oh, please, what are we paying the PM to do? He had all the answers in opposition. And someone says, when PS stops focusing on Chastity, he will find solutions to the problems affecting the country.
By the way, we have a clip of the Prime Minister. We'll save that for Monday of next week.
Someone says, let's see, they're all acting like a bunch of unruly, spoiled brats brawling on the playground. Instead of thinking about how to move forward and get things done for the people and the betterment of our future, they're insulting each other, fighting against each other, taking the country for a joke. It's all politics. Like you said, team a stupid competition for their own gain, not the people's. Both parties should be ashamed of themselves using the people to get what they want. And someone says, addressing me, someone said, Kimani, they could have simply continued the infrastructure project. Stopping the projects is costing us a whole lot more money. That is about it in the chat room, Tim.
All right, thank you so much, Kimani. That's your final update. Our NewsSpin news of the day. U.S. military in Guyana to boost capability in response to security threats. U.S. military in Guyana to boost capability in response to security threats. And that's according to the Guyana Times. Now, news just coming to hand. The International Court of Justice today ruled that Venezuela must not take any action to seize Guyana's county of Essequibo based on its December 3rd referendum. The court issued the following provisional measures, which it said that under Article 41 of the statute have binding effect and thus create international legal obligations for any party to whom that provisional measures are addressed. 1. Unanimously pending a final decision in the case, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela shall refrain from taking any action which would modify the situation that currently prevails in the territory in dispute, whereby the Cooperative Republic of Guyana administers and exercises control over that area. 2. Unanimously, both parties shall refrain from any action which might aggravate or extend the dispute before the court or make it more difficult to resolve. Guyana sought provisional measures from the ICJ after the Venezuelan government of Nicolas Maduro decided to call a referendum for Venezuelans to answer 5 questions, including one that seeks approval for the establishment of Essequibo as a state of Venezuela and for the issuance of citizenship and national identification cards to people in that 160,000 square kilometer county. Further, the referendum seeks a rubber stamp of the Maduro government's position that the ICJ could not settle the controversy over the 1899 arbitrary arbitral tribunal award that represents the full, perfect, and final settlement of the boundary between the 2 neighboring South American nations. The ICJ, in its decision, emphasizes that the question of the validity of the 1899 award and the related question of the definitive state settlement of the land boundary dispute between Guyana and Venezuela are matters for the court to decide at the merits stage. And finally, we hear from Dr. Gail Kajada, Senior Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health, a statement that coincides with the observance of World AIDS Day today.
This year, 2023, marks the 35th commemoration of World AIDS Day with the chosen theme, Let Communities Lead. St. Lucia documented its first known case of HIV in 1985. Back then, HIV/AIDS were highly stigmatized, and many persons living with HIV and their families experienced discrimination. Unfortunately, today, stigma and discrimination both still affect persons living with HIV and the communities who have a higher risk of acquiring HIV. HIV has no face, race, color, or sex. That person with HIV could be your mother, father, brother, sister, daughter, son, friend, spouse, or partner. As a nation, we have transitioned from not having any medication to managing HIV to antiretroviral therapy, that is, HIV treatment, available and free of cost to the patient. A screening test, 15 minutes, can help you understand whether you may have HIV, and that test can be confirmed. If you have multiple sexual partners and are engaging in unprotected sex or have an HIV-positive sexual partner, you can protect yourself and reduce your risk of getting HIV by taking 1 pill a day called PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis. The amount of virus in your body can be measured with a single lab test, a viral load, performed at our own Ezra Long laboratory. In 2023, the early 21st century, no one should be dying as a result of AIDS in St. Lucia. In 2022, globally, 630,000 persons died from AIDS-related illnesses. From January 2023 until the end of September 2023, 15 persons have died as a result of AIDS-related illnesses in country. HIV is a chronic disease, and it requires antiretroviral therapy treatment for effective management. Of the 294 persons currently actively collecting HIV medication, 46% are virally suppressed. We can do better. Persons have been dying from AIDS-related illnesses because they have been diagnosed at a late stage in the disease, or they have not accepted that they have the HIV infection. The blunt facts about HIV are as follows. HIV is not a myth. It still exists. There is no cure for HIV yet. If you are sexually active, you are at risk for getting HIV. With consistent daily medication, you can live well and live a long life with HIV. To get diagnosed early, you need to take the test. Let this day, December 1st, 2023, put HIV first and foremost in your mind. Have a frank conversation with your healthcare provider. Find out what are your options, where to get screened for HIV, how to prevent getting the HIV infection, and if you have HIV, how you can live a long, healthy life. No one should be dying from AIDS. Do not let yourself become another AIDS statistic in St. Lucia. For more information, please contact the Sexual and Reproductive Health Clinic at the Castries Wellness Center, 468-8886 or 8887, and at the Viewfort Wellness Center, 468-7985 or 7986.
Senior Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Gail Kajada, with a statement to mark World AIDS Day 2023. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Here's hoping to have yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend. And we'll be back on Monday afternoon, same time, to continue programming and broadcasting the most monitored talk show in the world, NewsSpin. Goodbye.